We all spend a lot of time preoccupied with money, but the money itself is meaningless as a piece of paper or a figure on a screen. Currency has worth only because it reflects a value in others or to others. That's what you should say, or that's why you should approach all of your business endeavors with the same question. How does this good or service provide value to others? It's pretty simple. Adding value to someone's life is worth something. And when you do that, people will actually pay you for it. In fact, they'll gladly pay you for it. It's still why we go out and eat, even when we can cook at home. We value the experience and craftsmanship. Value is one of the primary keys to any business, including an online business. So how do you add value? You can start by thinking about your skills and your area of expertise. What is it that you know makes others or makes you unique to others? What is it that you know that others would also like to know? Anytime you launch a new initiative or idea, you should ask yourself who exactly your work will benefit. If you find that you're writing an ebook just because you've always wanted to write a book and you have that deep passion, well, you want to think who actually is going to read it. It can still be a worthy exercise if that's what you really want to do. But you may find yourself with very few takers once it's actually up for sale online. This requires a bit of work in assessing the needs of the potential customers or users. What problem do they have that they need to help solving? What is the end result that they want? Are they willing to shell out some of their hard-earned money to someone for help fixing it? Will they value the time that they save with using your service more than the money that they actually need to spend to buy it from you? Almost every wealthy person you can think of has added enormous value to others. There's a lot of hand-wringing out there about the inequities in our economic system. It just doesn't seem fair that some individuals are worth so much more than others. But their wealth is directly reflected by the reality of what it is that they're providing through their skills and an enormous demand for them. Bill Gates provided enormous value to the world by helping to achieve his vision of entrepreneur in every desktop, helping workers to dramatically increase their productivity and find new ways to connect. Michael Jordan provided enormous value by providing and captivating millions with his extraordinary skills and then helping others to brand themselves as dedicated athletes through his merchandising. You'll find that there are a few common paths to adding value. It doesn't necessarily involve inventing something completely new out of the air. It's often as simple as doing things simpler or faster or cheaper than the options the customers have to turn to currently. There are so many choices out there today that it boggles the mind of how many companies still persist in treating their customers badly. I think the airline industry in particular is a good candidate for a big disruption in the years ahead. The business of booking flights is already made much easier and pleasant with the help of websites like Kayak or Travelocity, which has presented enormous challenges for the travel booking industry by adding so much value to the formerly painful process of booking a flight. Many airlines are only able to still persist in delivering subpar service because of monopolies in some areas and the high barriers of entry. But we already see success with some smaller companies like JetBlue and others which have set out to provide more amenities and transparency to customers at lower costs. If the big players aren't careful, they'll find themselves in a pinch to compete when others are providing a much more valuable service to their customers. You may want to follow the same approach when looking at where the pain points are with the big players in the industries that you're interested in. Where are they vulnerable? Value can often be in the eyes of the beholder. What you think of as a waste of time or money may just be what others have been looking for. Some folks might scratch their heads when they see the billion-dollar valuation of companies like Snapchat, which has made its founder, Evan Spiegel, a billionaire before he reached his mid-20s. It might be hard to explain the utility of a phone app for sharing messages that disappear instantly and explain to older users who just don't see the value. But for young people, it was exactly what they were looking for. Many millennials have increasing concerns about privacy and the implications of all of the information that they are sharing online through social media sites. They are looking for new forms of communicating that are empirical and not going to haunt them forever when they're going offline and going to the job market or moving to adulthood. Snapchat provides a greater privacy as well as helping users to communicate in short bursts of video. In the case of other social media sites like Facebook, they were vulnerable because of the privacy protections embedded, which gives an opening for competitors to add their missing value. It might not be your cup of tea, but it has 150 active users around the globe. There are numbers that can't be ignored. Certainly not if you're in the advertising world anyway. So you may personally see that there's no great use for this service like Snapchat, but no doubt you'd love to have all of the eyeballs on the ads for your own good or service. So you can see how Spiegel's creation trickles into enormous value for others. Beyond the advertising value alone, he's created a new and exciting way for people to communicate. In short, he created value. That's how he's amassed such a vast fortune from a company that only employs about 330 people. It's unlikely that he'd set out purposely to generate these kinds of returns. Of course, it's always nice to have that incidental benefit when you find yourself rich. But I've found that many of the most successful people I know didn't start out with that specific dollar sign in mind. They were just passionate about creating something and helping others. This is why so many hucksters out there find they're really never able to attain major success. They only can get so far on mediocrity and bilking other people's customers or their own. In the long run, what will ensure major success is creating things that people can't live without because they have added so much enormous value to their lives that they simply cannot imagine living in the world without them. That's why you should always start out with the vantage point of thinking through how you can add value. Focus on that journey and how you'll likely find success in the end as well. This is how you'll have tremendous success online, and believe me, when you do, it'll be worth all of the effort you've put in. Be sure and check out my website, TonyNewmeyer.com, and subscribe to receive free trainings and other articles and more. Also, be sure and follow me on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also pick up a copy of my book, The 7-Minute Millionaire, on my website. And until next time, live rich.